Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and today we get yet another PTR update for the patch 10.07. This update features even more content ready for testing, from new story chapters and side quests, to new UI improvements, more activities added to the Forbidden Reach, and of course a lot of exciting new class changes. This recent build has also introduced a new splash screen for the patch 10.07. While most won't find this little detail notable, it is a common trend that a finished splash screen signals that the upcoming patch is fairly close to an official release. As of right now, we don't have a release date just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got some type of an announcement very soon. In today's video, I wanted to highlight some of the biggest improvements coming to our classes in the most recent PTR build, which continues to develop and improve the playstyles of Death Knights, Paladins, Druids, Monks, and many others. But right before that, most of you guys watching these update videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. First, we see an adjustment for the spec of Frost Death Knight, which hopes to increase the value of certain resource spenders. The base Death Knight playstyle consists of a large array of combat abilities, some of which consume your death runes while generating runic power, while others will consume all generated runic power instead. And for the spec of Frost Death Knight, the value of runic power spenders has recently fallen behind. Most Death Knights find themselves generating too much runic power too quickly, unable to spend it efficiently, which leads to a lot of wasted resources and damage potential. To fix this issue, two main runic power spenders are being amplified. First, we have the Breath of Sindragosa, a capstone trait which powers the Frost Magic dual-wielding build. Sindragosa's damage is being increased by 25%, while increasing its runic power consumption, which results in a breath playstyle seeing more immediate damage and feeling more bursty. It may be a little bit difficult to maintain a permanent uptime of breath due to this change, but the ability will gain a lot more value up front. The other runic power spender to receive the similar treatment is Frost Strike, which gains 10% more damage at a cost of 5 extra runic power. Frost Strike is often played using the two-handed variant of the Frost Death Knight, and essentially accomplishes the same goal when it comes to reducing wasted resources while providing some more upfront value. The next class seeing new adjustments on the PTR is the Feral Druid, with this build focused on increasing their damage output outside of major offensive cooldowns. Abilities like Shred, Swipe, Brutal Slash, and Thrash have all been increased by 6%. While the talent of Merciless Claws increases the damage of Swipe and Brutal Slash by 15% as well. Though we do see a reduction to Berserk upgrade talent of Frenzy, which reduces the bleed damage value from 125% down to 100%. The purpose of this change is to increase the effective damage of Feral Druids outside of their main Berserk or Incarnation windows, which could potentially open them up for more sustained, focused builds rather than those emphasizing heavy cooldown reliance. The newest PTR build also brought new changes for a number of healing playstyles. First, we have the Preservation Evoker, which sees even more support towards the green magic Emerald Blossom builds. The talent of Ouroboros has been adjusted and will now gain its max healing potential with less echo stacks, increasing the healing of blossoms by 30 per stack, capping out at 5 stacks. This will allow Preservation Evokers to reach their full Ouroboros potential quicker, which would allow for Emerald Blossoms to shine in smaller group content like Mythic Plus dungeons. The next healer on the list is the Mistweaver Monk, where we see even more healing increases, with abilities like Shaylun's Gift further empowered by 20%, while the base Enveloping Mist gains 10% more effectiveness. We also see a slight reduction to one of the buffs provided by Shaylun's Gift. In combination with the talent of Shao Hao's teachings, Shaylun Healing empowers the Mistweaver Monk with various combat benefits, everything from stat increases like haste and critical strike, as well as healing and damage amplification and even duplication effects. So far, the lesson of fear has proven itself to be quite favorable compared to all the other lessons, so its impact is being reduced to decrease the buff fishing element of the monk gameplay. All lesson buffs should feel impactful when it comes to enhancing your gameplay, with the best case scenario where one buff doesn't outshine all the other options. And the final healing spec on this list is the Restoration Shaman, where we see a buff to improved Primordial Wave, increasing the group-wide healing capabilities of Rest Shaman at endgame content. We also see a passive increase for improved Earth Living Weapon Enhancement, which will now have a guaranteed healing proc effect on any target whose health drops to critical conditions, with both the healing value and the health threshold seeing an overall improvement. And finally, we have yet another massive PTR update arrive for the spec of Red Paladin, with this most recent build centered on increasing Retribution gameplay choices while offsetting some of the utility value back into the class tree. Red Paladins will find talents like Unbound Freedom and Healing Hands have both been moved into the class tree. These two talents will both be visible only for the spec of Retribution, and their new positional placement allows Paladins to focus on improving their survivability as well as utility within the class tree, while keeping their spec tree strictly down to damage increases and gameplay choices. Next, while both Protection and Holy gain access to Zealot's Paragon, Retribution will instead have access to Vengeful Wrath, which causes Hammers of Wrath to always critically strike. This change will limit their uptime of Avenging Wrath wings, but will make their execute phases incredibly deadly. This build also features a ton of Retribution talent tree changes, but here are some of the most important highlights. First, the talent of Crusading Strikes has been massively adjusted. Initially, this talent replaced your auto attacks with Crusading Strikes, where every auto attack also generated holy power. This passive has proven to be a little bit too potent, and in this build, Crusading Strikes will generate 1 holy power every 2 auto attacks instead, reducing its overall holy power generation to be more equal to simply using Crusader Strike as a separate ability. The new talent of Vanguard of Justice has been introduced in this recent build. This talent modifies your single target holy power spenders, like Final Verdict or Justicar's Vengeance. At rank 1, this talent increases the cost of your finishers to 4 holy power, while increasing their damage by 20%. And at rank 2, the holy power cost of these abilities increases to 5, with their damage further amplified by 40%. Based on my early testing, I found that this talent is much easier to use at rank 1 than at rank 2, especially if you prefer the Crusader Strike auto-attacking playstyle. When using this talent at rank 2, I often found myself waiting for the final auto-attack to set me to 5 holy power. While I could fill the downtime with abilities like Blade of Justice, which was often available, I would end up over-generating my combat resources. The damage of rank 2 Vanguard is noticeable, but the playstyle becomes somewhat awkward, while I found that it favored a more simple Crusader Strike-oriented builds much better. Though leaving Vanguard talent at rank 1 made this playstyle a lot more manageable, and I was able to increase my holy power spending value without making my playstyle feel awkward, resulting in a much smoother gameplay experience. The talent of Abjudication synergizes with Hammer of Wrath focus builds. Critical hits of Hammer of Wrath cause a Blessed Hammer to spiral around the Paladin, resulting in more holy strike damage. This talent becomes an excellent cleaving tool in AoE content, and has a natural synergy when using the newest edition of Vengeful Wrath. High Lord's Judgment has also been adjusted. At rank 2, this causes Judgment debuff to have a longer duration, and targets hit by Judgment will now retain 3 debuffs at a time. This effect becomes a lot more potent when Judgment starts to cleave multiple targets, causing all enemies to take extra vulnerability to cleaving effects like Divine Storm. Both the talent of Physical Presence and Searing Light are still incomplete, but based on the tooltip of either capstone, it seems like both of these talents will have a bonus effect, though as of right now, this effect is currently not available. And for now, that's going to be the full list of some of the newest class changes arriving with this recent PTR build, and it seems the spec of Retribution Paladin continues to go through development as the tuning on the spec is still not final. Hopefully, we'll see more of this type of detailed class reworks in the future updates of Dragonflight, because as of patch 10.05, I can think of at least 3 different specs that could use the same type of a facelift. Let me know in the comments down below which of the specs are you hoping gets a rework at some point in the future of Dragonflight. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.